It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2020, and this is your Three Gorges Dam update. Several news articles have broken since yesterday, including China's National Observatory Wednesday renewed a yellow alert for rainstorms. Also, Yangtze deluge test limits of Three Gorges Dam. And China's flood crisis deepens as several dams may collapse. Also, a new video shows a dam open all 14 floodgates in East China. Let's hop into it. Our first article of the day is courtesy of CGTN.com. Live updates. China allocates $119 million for disaster relief in flood-hit areas. China's National Observatory Wednesday renewed a yellow alert for rainstorms as incessant downpours will continue to wreak havoc across vast stretches of the country. And the fact that they're releasing those funds is good to hear. Hopefully it reaches the people that actually need it in time. Moving on here. The center advised local authorities to remain alert for possible flooding, landslides, and mudslides, and recommended halting outdoor operations in hazardous areas. China has a 4-tier color-coded weather warning system, with red representing the most severe, followed by orange, yellow, and blue. Since July, 31 people have died or are missing, and 23.85 million people have been affected due to floods in 24 provincial regions, including East China's Anhui and Jiangxi provinces. Moving along to some of the live updates from today that this article provides. The heavy rainfall across China has damaged hundreds of important structures in the country, including an ancient bridge in the southeastern province of Yangtze. Authorities there are asking everyone to play a part in rebuilding it. A dike has broken in Lujing County, one of the worst hit areas by flooding in East China's Anhui province. A 3-meter gap first appeared in the dam, and over 4 hours it expanded to 50 meters. 5 excavators working on trying to block off the breach have been washed away. A relief operation is underway with local authorities evacuating residents from near the lake that has formed in downstream areas. Also, as we briefly touched on earlier, China channeled 830 million yuan, that's the equivalent of 119.5 million US dollars, from its central budget to restore water conservation and agricultural production facilities in flood-hit areas. The funds were allocated to 12 provincial regions, including Jiangxi and Hubei, for post-disaster recovery and restoration of production and living order. This year's central budget has earmarked 1.29 billion yuan for the restoration of water conservation and agricultural production facilities in flood-hit areas. Now that we've touched on the flood and some of the responses to it, let's check on the dam. Here's an article here from AsiaTimes.com. Yangtze deluge tests the limits of Three Gorges Dam. Top engineer says the dam failed to regulate the flood despite the deluge being less severe than the worst case scenario. And sometimes the translation isn't absolutely perfect in these articles, but I'll try my best to make it understandable. China's Three Gorges Dam is being put to more and more sterner tests as torrential rain pounds provinces along the upper reaches of the Yangtze River, with all its major tributaries already in spate. During the past weekend, Yangtze's second flood this year struck the world's largest hydroelectricity dam spanning Asia's longest river. Latest operation statistics about the dam from the official website of the state-owned Three Gorges Dam Corporation show the mass flow rate at the western approaches of the dam's reservoir had halved to 30,000 cubic meters per second late on Monday. And we know that more rain was scheduled for the week, so we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. Moving on. While the flood was passing, the dam held an aggregate 10.7 billion cubic meters of water, saving the sprawling cities and massive croplands downstream from being submerged. But some experts are not convinced. Fan Zhao, chief engineer with Sichuan's Provincial Bureau of Geology and Mineral Resources, who also writes a column in the Chinese National Geographic magazine, said that based on his back-of-an-envelope calculations, the dam had only held 9% of this year's Yangtze floods. He went on to say the dam can only temporarily intercept flooding upstream, but it can do nothing to the flooding from heavy rains in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze. Fan has gone as far as to suggest that the dam and other huge cement barriers being built and planned to span and harness the Yangtze may exacerbate flooding by altering sediment flows in its lower reaches. The Chinese Ministry of Water Resources, Yangtze River Hydrology Committee, and China Three Gorges Dam Corporation noted that to prevent the dam from overflowing, they had lifted more floodgates to drain water at 37,000 cubic meters per second since Tuesday, after the reservoir's water level increased by more than 8 meters in 48 hours to 163.5 meters. The height of the dam is 185 meters. The article then goes on to speculate a little bit about what might happen if the dam does fail. All of Wuhan, provincial capital of Hubei, will be the first inundated in the unlikely scenario of a devastating dam burst. It is believed, however, that in the contingency plans prepared by the Chinese State Council for such an incident, areas in the immediate proximity of the dam, including Yichang, the place where the dam is situated, will be sacrificed as a buffer to mitigate any impact. The full text of the plan is classified as it contains sensitive design parameters of the dam. Moving along to our third article of the day, and this one's courtesy of WIONnews.com. China's flood crisis deepens as several dams may collapse. China's Guangxi region's dam has collapsed. It was built in 1965 and could hold more than 195,000 cubic meters of water, which is good enough to fill 78 Olympic-sized swimming pools. However, the dam has now collapsed because it could not handle the floodwaters, even as voices from the ground confirmed the impending crisis. When the dam collapsed, the local media didn't report it. More dams and structures in China may collapse. Dams are China's strategic card, but they are failing before China even has a chance to play them. It is no longer about just one dam since the crisis is much bigger. China has as many as 94,000 dying dams, with most of them being built during Mao's era. During Mao's regime, most dams were small in order to protect different regions from flooding. However, these dams could now collapse. In all these years, their structure has decayed, and now they're failing. The Three Gorges Dam remains the biggest concern at the moment, as 500 million people live along the Yangtze River, which is China's largest river. It is the river on which China has built its biggest and most controversial dam. 2 months of rain have swelled the Yangtze, and the Three Gorges Dam can handle 84 million liters of water per second. In recent days, the water inflow reached 61 million liters per second. Heavy rainfall is expected to pound the Yangtze again, with floods expected. The crisis is real, but China is in denial. It maintains the dam can handle more floodwater, but on Tuesday, it silently made a revelation. The Xinhua news agency carried a report which said the Three Gorges Dam had deformed slightly. The statement was made by the operator of the dam. Xinhua reported that some non-structural peripheral parts were damaged. Reports said it happened last Saturday when more floodwaters hit the dam and some external structures were displaced. The report added that some seepage had been reported at the main outlet walls, but officials are still making tall claims. One of them reportedly said that nothing can topple the dam in the next 500 years. China managed to hide the collapse at Guangxi, and it was not half as big as the Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam is a very big deal, and saving it is a matter of national prestige, with authorities now neck deep in trouble. And the first three articles of the day are kind of like a snapshot of the entire crisis. We see that there's so many more layers to this. There's the financial aspect. So many people are displaced, have lost their homes, way of life, and livelihood in China. And then at the center of all this is the Three Gorges Dam. When the dam was first constructed, it was hailed as one of the most monumental construction projects in the history of mankind. Now the CCP is rallying around the project, and honestly, I only hope they're able to save it. If you're finding today's video informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. Now let's move along to the final article. This comes courtesy of TaiwanNews.com. Video shows dam open all 14 floodgates in East China. Floodgates unleash water on 50,000 acres of farmland in China's Anhui province. Video surfaced on Wednesday showing a dam in eastern China's Anhui province opening all 14 of its floodgates, flooding tens of thousands of acres of farmland. There have been continuous rainstorms in southwest China since the beginning of June, and the rain belt has extended the whole Yangtze River basin. The entire basin has been continuously plagued by flooding for about 40 days, and that video clip is what's playing in the background. Let's move along. In recent days, the rainfall has expanded across China and the rain belt has moved northward. As a result, the Yellow and Huai River basins have also begun to see extensive flooding. Sitting between the Yangtze and Yellow rivers is the Huai River, which has been dubbed as the most difficult river to manage in China. Over the past 40 days, Anhui Province's Hoku County has been hammered by 813 millimeters of rain, 535 millimeters more than the 277 recorded over the same period last year. By July 20th, the water level of Run River, which is a tributary of the Huai River, rose to 27.65 meters, exceeding the warning level by 2.35 meters. Reported Anhui News. In order to relieve pressure from the Huai River, authorities issued an order on July 20th to open all 14 floodgates of the Yingtang Lake Dam at 1 p.m. that day. According to the report, 461 people from 6 villages downstream were evacuated before the floodgates were opened. After the floodwater discharge was implemented, more than 50,000 acres of farmland was flooded, and the direct economic loss is estimated to reach in the hundreds of millions of Chinese yuan. And the video is courtesy of a tweet by a Chinese vlogger who goes by the pseudonym Harry Chin, PhD. Thank you so much for watching this video. I think this is a good place to wrap it up for the day. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.